Hey, what is up, everybody? Everybody, what is up? Gorfo here. Tonight we're going to do Maniac, probably one of the dirtiest, grittiest, most fucked up horror movies ever made, but very cool, very influential, classic, and awesome film. Um, Done by William Lustig, of course. We owe him a great debt of gratitude, especially as physical media collectors for Blue Underground, which puts out some of the finest, and I do believe some of the first ever 4Ks and maybe even Blu-rays because Lustig back in the beginning, around 77, the late 70s, he was doing pornography, did one called Hot Honey and stuff like that. Moved on, ended up doing Maniac and, continued on. Um, Worked for Anchor Bay, did some documentaries and stuff for them, and then ended up opening up and getting the Underground together. And the Underground is definitely one of my favorite 4Ks. Um, they have several great ones just in the last year or so. Like Dead and Barry, of course, you got Maniac, you got Zombie, you got a bunch of Fulci. I just got New York Ripper 4K not too long ago. It's all really good stuff. Liam Lustig's awesome. Seen several interviews. He's a great guy. Maniac is definitely a kick-ass show. And Joe Spinell's stamp. Of course, Joe Spinell. He's Godfather, Godfather 2. He was in Nighthawks. He was in Rocky. As Gazzo. You know, um, you know, Joe Spinell's done it all. He was a great actor, great character actor, one of the greatest ever, in my opinion. And he definitely leaves his stamp, and this is his role as Frank Zito. Hey, Juno, how you doing? Thanks for coming through. Hey, guy, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, anybody who's a fan of Maniac, of course, probably is also a fan of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, Confessions of a Serial Killer, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're all in that vein. Um, it's what I consider. I mean, not that the other horror isn't real horror, but Maniac is true real horror, and also it's got a damn good remake starring Elijah Wood, which is what I intend on doing as well sooner or later. Because Gene Siskel's so bad that he walked. Yeah, and did yeah, that's right, and that's right at the beginning of the film too. Yeah, but which is a shame. See, that's the difference between Siskel and Ebert. Remember, Ebert's the guy that it was his it was his comments that caused people to go back to the theater to see Halloween and gave that and the I can't remember the other place that did it, but gave Halloween a hell of a review and caused them to go back. He also gave a great review to Last House on the Left, and several others. Ebert was weird. Um, I respected Roger Ebert. I didn't agree with him all the time, but I did respect his opinion. He's one of the better ones out there. Unfortunately, they're both gone now. They used to have great banner. I used to love watching Cisco and Ebert sneak previews at the movies, on and on. That's great shit. Lots of trivia on this movie, guys. Lots of great trivia. Um, all through it, as a matter of fact. Of course, Thomas Savini did special effects on here, just like Judah was talking about. Carolyn Monroe from Sinbad and several other movies throughout. The beautiful Carolyn Monroe. Is the female lead. The antagonist, or no, the protagonist. Of course, Joe Smell, Spring Zito being the antagonist, and a great antagonist as it is. He went through. He did the Last Picture Show. As a matter of fact, him and Harold Monroe did a movie called Star Crash. They did the Last Horror Show. Of course, Maniac. The bottom end of her career was, had a lot of this stuff going on. Very cool chick, Carol Monroe is. I believe still with us. But yeah, this one ought to be fun. I'm thinking about starting on Monday nights. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing like doing a grindhouse or doing like a dirty horror type, Monday or whatever. But I know soon I'm going to be starting on some Italian horror. I'm going to be doing Argento and Fulci and Martino and Bava. So I'm going to be going through them too. I always thought original Maniac was better than a remake. Yeah, more than original. Yeah, there's no way I could love the remake better than the original. I adore the original. It's yeah, it's a staple in horror. Not taking anything away from the remake, and not taking anything away from Elijah Wood. That movie and a couple others are the ones that really got me to respect Elijah Wood, because all I'd seen him do is Lord of the Rings, which he seemed to come up kind of whiny and shit, right? Um, but as I seen him do other films, man, I begin to realize that he can play creepy really well. First time I really seen him play creepy was as the creepy stalker type guy, you know what I mean, in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which everyone in that film does a great job, and he plays the creepy little guy, really well. That's why I begin to realize, hey, maybe this guy does got some skill. And of course, and the first 5 minutes of the remake of Maniac, really tells you a lot. The one thing I like about the remake is they take it from his point of view a lot. The only time you really see him is when he like looks in the mirror or something like that, which I thought was really, really cool. Yes, yes, this has got such a dirty. Oh man. As a matter of fact, before we get there, we got the opening scene. I've got to pause here. The scene that's also in my intro when he hops up on the hood and shoots to the windshield and kills the Tom Savini character, which they call the Disco Boy, is who he's labeled as. Um, that dummy that's in there that he shoots is actually a dummy that he nicknamed Boris, that was in Dawn of the Dead. That dummy was in Dawn of the Dead. I do believe he remade the head. I think it was the head that he exploded in that with the shotgun. Funny thing about that is, and I will talk more about it as it's going, but they actually use live ammo on that. And the I guess the cops were coming or something like that. After they shot it and made that noise, I guess cops were coming. A friend of Joe Spinell's came by with the trunk open, and they took the gun and tossed it in the trunk, and they shut it, and he took off. So that way, when the cops came, they didn't see any live ammo or anything like that. So they definitely didn't have a lot of money to mess with. They ended up spending in total, I think, 350,000. And believe it or not, back in its time in 1981 when it was actually released, it's made in 80, but it was released in 81. It actually, it opened for, and this is what's cool about it is this opened on January the 30th. This is like a 42nd anniversary, January 30th, 1981. I didn't notice that until I got into this and I checked it out, and I was like, wow, we're kind of doing it on an anniversary. So happy birthday on your release, Maniac 1980 from William Lustig. So, so let's see. Sequel. Yes, yes, yes. I believe didn't he end up getting sick and everything and ended up dying and everything, before they got a chance to really do it. I mean, a lot of the roles like Undertaker and stuff like that, he was kind of like Frank Zito character, but wait, this yeah, this was actually inspired by the late '70s true crime serial shootings and killings of the Son of Sam that plagued New York City in the late '70s. And so it's loosely based on that. That's where Lustig initially got the idea. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It, it just depends on who you're taking out, I guess. You know what I mean. I know a lot of chicks that like this, so you know what I mean. This is mainly, I would say, a guy's horror movie. You know what I mean, because of for lots of reasons. There's not as many women like that type of gore and like this type of gritty, grimy, but you get the deep down horror fans, those kind of chicks, man, and they really dig it too. So you know, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool that Lustig started out like that. You know what I mean? Started doing pornography, and you know what I mean, and then switched off and made some documentaries for Anchor Bay, and then got his foot in the door, and he opened up Blue Underground. And damn, I'm glad he did, because I got a ton of them. I feel like Blue Underground, as far as horror goes, they're right up there, at least right up toward the top of 4K. I mean, I think they were the first one to make horror 4Ks like that on a regular basis. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe they were the first to start putting those up. Um, when Arrow and all them were still doing the Blu-ray combos and all that. I think they started doing the 4K Blu-ray combos. So this is on Tubi. This is on Pluto. This is on, I would imagine, Shutter on Prime. So if anybody's got that and want to set it up and watch with me, let's do it, brother. Let's kick some ass because this is gonna be a fun one. By the way, speaking of a fun one, this is Tuesday now, so a week from tonight, I will be doing My Bloody Valentine, the original My Bloody Valentine, 1981. That one's special to me, and I'm gonna kick ass and take names on that one because I love that one, and I'm gonna put on a hell of a watch. Looking to get maybe a guest or two in to bullshit with while we talk about it. The reason I don't do so much of that now is it kind of I don't get the same chance to talk with everybody and bullshit and really, you know what I mean, really do the commentary when I have somebody else. But there's those times when I get somebody else that I meld with really, really good. Steel, I do, Eric, I got some really good watches with Night Watch Cadaver Club, you know what I mean? So, it just depends. Valentine original, and always thought it was old school. Oh, I love My Bloody Valentine. The cool thing with My Bloody Valentine is it's got such a story. You know what I mean? I don't think the Canadian horror movies and slashers get the credit they deserve. You got so many great ones, man, and My Bloody Valentine's right at the top of that list. I mean, you got a love triangle, you got a Who Done It, you got, I mean, and the funny thing is, you don't realize you have a Who Done It until the end when you find out that Harry Warden is, you know what I mean? In case anybody hasn't seen it, I won't get into it right now, but we'll talk about that next week. My Bloody Valentine, 1981. So I'm going to get ready to start this up and we're going to bullshit. So anybody needs any time, give me the signal. I'm going to start counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, it starts out right here. Yeah. Right here on the beach with the couple. You know what I mean? This is the kind of thing that makes couples afraid. You know what I mean? Couples were afraid at this time until they seen these kind of films, and then it was like, oh my god, because it makes you realize that if the killer is crafty enough and crazy enough, your boyfriend might not be enough to protect you. Especially when you got Frank Zito running around with a fucking double barrel shotgun. I don't care who your boyfriend is. If your boyfriend is Brock Lesnar, he's not going to run through a shotgun blast. And that's just what's up, Come on, I'm tired. Come on, please. It's starting to get cold. Now I wonder if these two messed around prior. I'm assuming they did that, or maybe they're just crashing on the beach. This appears to be early morning. I would say the AM hours, 5, 6 a.m. maybe. That's what it looks more like to me. Yeah, rather than the PM 5, 6 p.m. It looks more like a 5, 6 a.m. And you get the killer point of view. You know what I mean? I always love that. That's not done ever really hardly anymore. You don't get, you know what I mean? I like to see a lot more than that. There he is down right over. She thinks it's him, of course. It's the old, oh no, I think, I'm trying to rest, leave me alone, blah blah. New York City. Oh yeah. And this was filmed in so many places in New York City. They shot at hotels, they shot at the Realta Theater, First State Building, even the World Trade Center, Woolworth Building. I mean, so many places there. And of course, finished and mixed it, I do believe, in Los Angeles. But everything was, locations are all in New York. There's like 25 locations involved in this film. So he's gathering up all this stuff. I think he's just trying to find any way that he can to keep the girl here underneath blanket and warm here and keep her out on the beach with him. You know what I mean? There she is. It kind of puts you in mind. He didn't get a chance to get down there and see her. I would have liked to see him get a little closer to her so we could get the big, you know what I mean? So, we could get the big, him finding her dead and the throat cut. But instead, Frank's got him. He's garroting the hell out of him. Because Joe Spidel's not a little guy. So it's like, and then he wakes up just screaming and crying. what an incredible job. Joe Spinell was so and you notice everything he did, up until he started doing, these films right here, up until Maniac, everything he did was something different, man. One of my favorite roles, if you're a Rocky fan, is Gazzo in the Rocky movies. Unbelievable. He's just great. Somebody always saying, "Oh yeah," like, "Oh yeah, Maniac." Oh my God, yeah. Don't forget the Dress to Kill. Brian De Palma's Dress to Kill. You had pretty good subway shit going on. I mean, God, so many of them. Subway played a major role in Dress to Kill. Well, I was checking this out. See, I knew a lot of the trivia of it, but I didn't realize some of the other trivia. There's a couple of things here that I didn't know. That I found very interesting when I was doing some research. I wasn't going to do any research on it because I know the film pretty well and everything in the background, but I'm glad I did because I found an extra couple of things. Thinking about next Monday night, maybe Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Thinking about running that 4K through here and that Arrow 4K. That you know that new mix. There's so many of them. I was going to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 tonight. I decided to go with Maniac because I've been wanting to do Maniac now for months and just hadn't got around to it yet. Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 is it's a coming. It's a coming. Serpico, yeah, that's one I hadn't heard of in a minute. I haven't thought about that film in a minute. We have this horrible. You just imagine what this man's mother must have been like, right? It's most of the shows around this time and back then. It all was, it's all mommy issues. You know what I mean? Still has 70s look with the disco glow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the credits, he's known as Disco Boy, and the chick he's with is Disco Girl. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's Tom Savini and Hyla Morrow. Yeah, in that scene, and it's a great scene. I can all everybody talks about the Scanner's head explosion scene, but I think too that people don't talk about. That was done by Dick Smith. Nobody talks about the two really good um, Tom Savini head explosion scenes, man. The head explosion scene with the two with the shotgun, the one in Dawn of the Dead, boom. That's a good scene, and the one here, man, that's why it's in my intro. Is because he hops up on that thing, it's blam. But yeah, I guess that's Boris. So I guess that was the body left over from Dawn of the Dead. I think he just remade the head. Very cool. Makes me wonder. Tom Savini must have a lot of bodies laying around without heads. You know what I mean? Because there's another headless body taking place toward the end of the movie. We'll talk about later. These shots here are done the helicopter shots over New York City and everything. I guess a few of those were left over from footage that they shot for Argento's Inferno, which that's something I didn't know. Did not know. Look at the old cars. It's fantastic, man. Yeah, the old Buick there going, I do believe. The, all these chicks here are the ones that play, the prostitutes and everything. I guess those, since they were cheap, they used a lot of porno star, porno actresses and stuff like that. So I think that's what these chicks did. I don't see a whole lot of late '70s pornography, so I couldn't tell you. It's just not my cup of tea. Too much push and such. Too much of all that going on. What I mean? Like anything like that, it's a little more modern, just a little bit at least. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Makes you, and it really makes you realize, the chances that these prostitutes take. You know what I mean? Yeah. People put down prostitutes a lot and everything and talk all this shit, but I mean, have you walked a mile in their shoes? And what they do is dangerous. mean, it's their business. It comes right down to it. I don't think anybody has any right to really judge or say anything. That's what they want to do, you know. Just like like some, somehow along the line, doing pornography has become um glitzy. It's become more Hollywood. It's more accepted. Yet prostitution is still left way back, and looked down on. It ain't kind of the same thing. I mean, not really the same thing, but it's got the same, aspect. This guy right here, the one that's running the hotel, I cannot remember what his. He does something somewhere. He's somebody I cannot remember. But he's yeah. Frank Zito he's just so chill. He doesn't say a lot. He's like weird, you know. Yeah, considering what it was made, I'm really not surprised that the original idea it was inspired by the Son of Sam killing. It being the time that it is and the way some of was done, you know, that was so Son of Sam attacking, couples in cars or whatever. Zodiac too, yeah, absolutely. William Lustig, absolutely, man. I heard several months ago. I heard a YouTuber talking, and they was talking about how William Lustig had died. And I remember checking into it, and I thought, no, but Lustig's not dead. That brought me down, man, because I was like, shit, that's another one. You know what I mean? Along with Romero and Wes Craven and Stuart Gordon and all them. I thought Toby Hooper. I thought we'd lost another one because they're dropping off like flies, man. All the old ones, you know what I mean, that inspired the guys that are around now, or Maniac Cop, yeah, Maniac Cop. Speaking of those, that's 4Ks that he's released through his label. Like I said, as well as a shitload of bullshits. I've never seen or had a problem with a Blue Underground 4K or Blu-ray for that matter, or even DVD from way back. It's all really good quality shit. They they don't put out a bunch. They're not like Arrow or Scream Factory. They don't put out a shitload all at once. They're a little more like Second Sight. They release just a little bit. That helps keep the quality up. You do too much, you find, we found out from, Screen Factory and Arrow and all them. If you try to do too many, at least too many at once, you got a quality issue. Right. Hmm. Why do you hate making Maniac Cop 3? Do you know? So I wasn't exactly, I wasn't exactly aware that he, did you just feel that the franchise was played out, or Maniac Cop 3 is all right? I mean, it's all right. I of course prefer the first two, but I still don't have a 4K yet. I have Arrow Maniac Cop. I do not have it on Blue Underground. Shit. Thanks to William Lustig, for fucking Maniac, or the Maniac Cops, or Blue Underground itself. I mean, this is a man that's made his stamp. He's definitely, to physical media collectors and horror movie fans, he's definitely important. We had conflict with the story, it was going back and forth, rewrites, clashing with film crew. So, yeah, he's one that definitely wanted to get his own thing going. He worked his way there, like I said, through doing this and that, and then working for Anchor Bay, making documentaries, just so he could get his own thing going. And if you see an interview with him, he's actually a very cool guy. Very nice guy. I actually wouldn't mind doing an interview. I'll see if I can work on that sometime in the future. See if I can't get him. He, you know, but he's not one of these guys. It's like, yeah, no, you know what I mean. You get high up, you know, I mean, you get known enough, you know, I could probably do it. Yeah, the first thing I ever seen Joe Spinell in was Rocky as Gazzo, and I just it's great. It's up both of you. Do what I tell you to do what I tell you to, Rock. You, you got enough light, you know. We can run some kind of a charity here. Well, don't figure it. Let me do the figure it, okay, Rock? You know your way, dude. You know, he's a really cool guy. He helped Rocky throughout it. You know what I mean? Gave him money to train. Gave him money to take Adrian out. It's a really cool character. And they brought it back in two. I thought they should have. Well, by three, I thought I think he might have been gone by three. Yeah. 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 One thing screwed up about it was is Tom Atkins was killed in the first one, right? Tom Atkins is he is a detective character died in the first one. I thought that was unfortunate. But remember that guy that played the Maniac cop? Remember he went on he was in Tango and Cash. You seen Tango and Cash? You remember he's like broke my jaw, you know, and the Kurt Russell character, you know, I think he's Cash maybe, right? And looks over Slaney, you broke that jaw? Because this, you remember the dude that played me at cop had a hell of a jaw on him. You broke that jaw? Yeah, yeah, definitely. You can't get rid of Tom too quick, man. It's just really, it's just, you know, you see how crazy, how fucked up he is, man. Ryan, it's like he hates it. It's like he can't control himself. It's really, and that's scarier than somebody who can, you know, far scarier. You get a guy that can't help it and hates what he's doing, but does it anyway and goes to great lengths to do it. See, he's just completely upset and just torn up with himself with what he's just done. Yet it doesn't deter him. You know what I mean? It doesn't affect him in the long term. You know, it's unusual to see a serial killer like that show that much remorse. So I think it gives the character great depth. This character is not just a mindless fucking sociopathic killer. You know what I mean? There's a lot of layers to it. You know, they're all fucked up layers, but they're layers. Most serial killers, you know what I mean? They just don't feel much about it. But he just, you know, he shows, you know, a lot of sympathy, a lot of, you know, empathy after the fact. Yeah, Rossi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bill Rossi. Oh my God. Yeah, Halloween 2. Amazing Grace. Come sit on my face. Don't make me cry. I need your pie. Yeah, yeah. I believe that's exactly the way it went. Halloween 2. Yeah, I might do Halloween 2 one of these times. Halloween 2 is a decent one, man. If they left the brother and sister aspect out of it, Halloween 2 would be a fantastic sequel. You know, they go a little heavy on the supernatural, unstoppable part. You know what I mean? But it worked for Michael Myers. You know, it worked for the shape, for what they were doing. I much prefer that canon over the Halloween 2018 kills and hits. I much prefer that. Yeah, amazing, great. Come sit on my, make me cry. I need you. Yeah, and he scalps them, which is, you know, that's weird, creepy too. That puts them on his mannequins. This guy's life is just from beginning to end, beginning of the day to the end of the day, is getting these mannequins, getting these victims, getting their scalps, putting their scalps on. You know what I mean? This is just what this guy does, or so you think. It's like until you Carolyn Monroe. I think it's a really weird dynamic their relationship because usually a chick like Carolyn Monroe, you wouldn't see her hanging around or fucking around with a dude like Frank Zito. You know what I mean? It's just and and I know she wasn't exactly um into him like that, but I always felt like there was a chance. Like he was a nice guy, he was polite, he was gentlemanly to her. I always felt like he almost had a chance. Yeah, me it goes first two Halloweens. I like Halloween 3, 4 days, of course, a separate thing. I've grown to like Halloween 4 a lot more. I wish they'd used a better mask. If they'd used a mask like the original mask, Halloween 4 would be a bad motherfucker. It's the only thing that bugs me about that, you know. And again, you get really, Danielle Harris, and she did such a great job. You know, it's fucked up. The great job that she did in that, and she, for what she was given, Halloween 5, she did a great job. And then they don't want to pay her enough money to bring her back in Halloween 6, so they have somebody else stand in, and then they have, then they fuck it up. I mean, that got weird, man. He's having a baby with his niece and shit. That got strange. Halloween's just been everywhere, you know. And considering it's my favorite, the original was my favorite horror movie of all time, that really pisses me off. You know, why though? I think they always gotta go dumb about shit. You ain't got nothing left to say with fuck, then don't say nothing. Don't be just making up shit just because, and stick it in there and make it stupid. Come on, guys. If you're not gonna attract fans that way, you're gonna deter fans. That's why I like standalone horror movies a lot. I would have loved Halloween if it was a standalone all by itself. The last thing you see from Michael Myers is when he fell off the balcony, and you see him down there, and then when Loomis goes and looks, he's gone, and then that's the last thing that's left like that. I thought that would have been fantastic. That would have been great. People today would still be talking about it. They'd be talking about it in higher esteem. Actually, there wouldn't be all this other crap with it. But if it had been left like that in 1978, that would have been cool. Great standalone films, man. Maniac, great standalone. The Burning, great, she was going on 6 and lying back to that baby. Yeah, it hurt my stomach and hurt that slash. Yeah, yeah, it did. Yeah. As far as I know, Michael only had sexual desires. Anything resembling a sexual desire is what he was stalking at. That was why he stalked her so much. When he first seen Lori, she kind of reminded, she put him in mind of his sister. So he was watching her. That's why he was curious about her. But when he seen Annie and how feisty she was, and something about her got him. And if you read the book, you know what I mean. Read the book by Curtis Richards. It's very expensive to get a hold of. I happen to have a copy of it. It explains that. Not that he was all turned on by her, but at the same time, that's kind of what that attraction was. And he didn't know what it was. He didn't understand it. He had never felt that before. Yeah, that's why he watches Annie so long. It's because he's kind of into her, really. But he's into her in a "I want to kill you" kind of way, not a his knife was Michael's knife was his group. But here it is. He's getting it all ready in this the violin case. The switchblade, the machete. God damn. Yeah, yeah. They had Tarantino on board. Yeah, he was on board for one of them. They even talked about it was going to be Halloween Returns. That was one they was going to do instead of Halloween 2018. And Carpenter was going to write, and I think they were talking to Tarantino about directing, and they had a script for it. It was kind of out there, but it might have been better than what we got. I heard the script. You know, there's been any number of YouTubers, you know, talk about that script, but you know, you can go find it anywhere. You know what I mean? We watched the movie. People like that, you know, have discussed it and they've read it. They have it. So go check that out. Also, Beyond the Mask. He's really good. He covers Halloween and Scream. In case somebody's heard of him, go check him out. Beyond the Mask. Really, really good with Halloween and Scream. He has a whole new depth. He delves into every single part of every character. Does a great job. Yeah, yeah. I really like Myers Bennett. I'm glad that yeah. But they screwed up when they was going to do the Halloween Returns because Carpenter was on board and everything to write it. He was gonna write it, and Tarantino was gonna direct, But then they wanted to change the shit. They didn't want to do that script that they put together. And when they changed it, Carpenter said what? And then that's when he sold the shit. And that's when he something about because the Accords owned the rights, and they just kind of allowed Blumhouse to make these last three, so they have the rights back. But somehow Carpenter still had had a stake in it. You know what I mean? Carpenter still had some say so in that last little bit, and I think he just sold the rest of it. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Ain't seen you in a minute. How's it going? Yep, watching Maniac 1980. This is Dirty Monday, man. I think next Monday, I think I'm gonna do Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I'm gonna do the grimy, dirty ones, true for the true horror fan. You know what I mean? Because you get a lot of horror fans out there, but not everybody likes Henry and Maniac. It's just a little too much, I think. But then you get some that are just like, man, talk to you in a while. How's everything been going? Just doing my thing, man. Got the latest, as far as I know, going to be recording the latest episode of In Horror for All tomorrow with Night. Self and Nightlife Donor. We're going to record episode 5, and it should be ready and edited and out probably by Wednesday, Thursday. So look for that. Yeah, the problem with it was is the sequences were out of whack. Is somehow when they put it together, they put a sequence before it, but somehow when he goes into the convenience store, they had a part after that before that somehow. And like I said, you make too many when you're putting out too many 4Ks like Arrow and Screen Factory does, you're gonna have fuck ups. That's why Second Sight and Blue Underground and don't have those problems. Really, I like it when you release them, but you release 5, 6 at a time. What's the hurry? I'd rather have quality rather than a shitload of them. Quality over quantity any day. Am I right? To throw on Henry Logan. Oh, and that's such a good show, man. Michael Rooker is amazing in that, man. He's amazing. You dive and play him on. Okay. So I've been checking out lately a lot of true crime and shit is Lazy Masquerade. I really like Lazy. Really good shit. I just got the voice for it. You know what I mean? Here he goes. Disco Boy taunts me. He's just trying to get some. You know what I mean? He just in his, he's such a smug, smart ass, and it fits so well. Yeah, it's Death Wish. Yes, I'm. Yes, Death Wish is kick ass, man. I love some Charles Bronson. Jersey White Buffalo. White Buffalo is a great one, Bronson. It's one that's never talked about, but it's a kick ass movie. Yeah, yeah. He just get. I mean, shit. I mean, you gotta give it up for him. He's getting it. He's getting it. Well, he's getting ready to be getting it anyway. Fortunately, Frank interrupts that shit. Frank don't like that. You know what I mean? It doesn't delve directly into what happened to Frank Zito at the hands of his mom, but you get the idea. A lot of it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the original idea for Maniac was based on Son of Sam, but I think they delved into a little bit of um, Henry Lee Lucas too. I think his mom kind of messed with him sexually or whatever. I mean, Frank's mom, you know. But who knows with Henry Lee Lucas what was, what was true and what wasn't. All we know is what he claimed, which was something different every day. She's like, yeah, because she knows she's seen somebody, man. She's like, dude, you ain't getting shit while there's somebody lurking around the car. Just about, he's being a dick about it too. He's just, he got blue ball going on. He's pissed. He was really looking to get into that. You gotta check out White Buffalo. Yeah, yes, watch White Buffalo. It's a kick-ass film. Need to get that on physical media, as a matter of fact. I got a Blu-ray of it up. Here he is. I love this scene. That's why I added it to my intro. Yeah. So now this, when it gets shot here, that is Boris, a dummy you had left over from Dawn of the Dead. I think the same body that the head got blown up. On Dawn of the Dead, when in an apartment complex, when they're raiding an apartment complex and he shoots and blows that head up. I think this is the same body. There's a dummy that Tom Savini named Boris. Oh hell yeah, he was, man. He's eating steak, watching TV and shit, smoking his cigarettes, getting milkshakes. While he was claiming what 700 victims or some stupid shit. Which they knew he did some, but they disproved a lot of that shit. They proved his whereabouts during a lot of that, and it wasn't where as long as they was going to keep treating him like that, he was going to keep claiming. But, oh yeah, he gave interrogations for like 10 years or some shit. Hey, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, man. It helps on my algorithm, helps get me out there to terrorize the rest of the earth. Like I say, I can terrorize everybody. You guys give me enough thumbs up. Everybody see my shit, and I can bug everything. Spread the Maniac word. Here it is, that double barrel. Boom! It just point blank range. So a night that looked like it was going to go really good for Tom. It didn't go. Yeah, Boris is that dummy body. Yep, like yep. Everyone in the apartment. Yes. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, yeah. Foley or whatever his name was. When it Foley or some shit. I should know that. I've seen that movie 10 million times. Yeah, these shots right here as we're going over. Timestamp. Here, let me speed up here. Timestamp 31 minutes in. The helicopter shot as they're going over. That's leftover helicopter shots from Argento's Inferno. Some shit they shot while making that. Lots of little Easter eggs and little things in this movie. Like I said, you got the Boris there, you got the shots there from Inferno. Like I said, it was shot 25 different places in New York. Our State Building, World Trade Centers, of course, weren't there. But yeah, um, the Rialto, a couple of hotels, the Woolworth Building. This is definitely Lustig's movie, man. He's co-producer, directs. Actually, people who don't know, Joe Spinell co-wrote the screenplay of this. So he's multi-talented, man. Please, the guy shooting was like that. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Oh, that hurts my parts. Yeah, the drunk it hurts. He's watching some old WWF, well WWF at the time. Oh, that hurts my parts. Yes, it was. Nice call, Juno. Nice call. I didn't put that together. Nice. Hurts my part. That's fantastic. Let's hear. I love this little addition that Joe Spinell does when he's laying there and he's talking to the talking to the mannequin and everything, and he's just kind of rocking. And he's crying and he's, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And he's just rocking back. I love that addition of him rocking with it, you know? He just, you know, he just kind of love it on it, you know? It's actually pretty sad, you know? The Spring Zito character, you're not sure whether to fear him, be creeped out by him, or to, you know, feel sorry for him, you know? Kind of somewhere in between all of them, I guess. If they were film. Yeah. I much prefer, I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about this, but I always liked Haim more than Feldman, you know? Feldman had his day when he was younger. He was a better actor than what he was when he got older. You know, I know he's supposed to be a little cheesy and a little over the top, and the Puppet Master or something like toys, or I do believe it was he was in. He just not a great actor anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So I always liked Haim better. It's just too bad. It's just too bad because once he started getting his shit together, you know, they found out with a lot of drug addicts. You know, once they get clean, it's like their body goes into a shock or something. You know what I mean? And even if they've been clean for a little while, their heart just it ends up taking its toll on their heart. It's almost like if you get an addict, they're almost better off if you leave them being an addict. You know, I mean, really, a lot of them die from that shit. The body just they've done it so long, their body just does not know how to react. It's not having it in them. Caroline Monroe, she's yeah, very beautiful Caroline Monroe. I first seen her in I can't remember which Sinbad it was. Which Sinbad was it she was in first? It's also where Jane Seymour got some of her stuff. Yeah, yeah. I wish we would have got it too. Yeah. What was it going to be, Mister? Oh, shit, I can't remember what it was going to be called, man. I can't remember. Corey, help me out, man. You see, oh, Gary Busey. He's batshit nuts now, isn't he? His Uncle Red, yeah, just on. He's just yeah. So read them in a week. I seen it at the theater with my mom. Silver Bullet. Seen a lot of films with my mom early on when I was a kid and you know young adolescent. She started taking me at 7 years old. I think the first one she took me to was the very first Friday the 13th, 1980, June 19, um, June 13th. So she took me June 14th, that Saturday, that matinee. So that was my first movie, June 14th, 1980. And then you know, I seen every one of them, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And then Manhattan, I didn't see it was where I seen it with a friend of mine. Me and him was the only two in the theater, and that's the last Friday 13th I went to. Shit, we went and seen Halloween 2, we went and seen Silver Bullet. Oh my God, man, on and on. I mean, I can't think of them all. Oh, holy shit, man. I could, yeah. I list. But Gary Busey was great. I liked him as Mr. Joshua in Lethal Weapon. Not fucking Christmas. Yeah. Like Mel Gibson's, he tells you, hey, you want to shout out the title? Like, yeah, I'll take a shot. Then he's fighting that sprinkler and all that shit. It's pretty cool. Oh man, yeah. I seen it. Oh man, it goes on and on. Um, I seen the thing by myself. I got a story behind that in case nobody knows. One time I do the thing, I would ever get a chance, I'll tell that story. um, let's see. Gosh, went to so many. Okay. Was he still going to be bring Zeta? Because I remember it was named Mr. something, or I can't remember the name. It was Mr. something, I thought. Yes, yes. I didn't see the first one, but I seen two and three in the theater. I've seen Halloween 2, 3, and 4. Now, in the last 2 or 3 years, I have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and the original Halloween at this local theater that we have here in this little town that I live in now, here in Alexandria, Indiana. Last 2 or 3 Halloweens ago, all October, every weekend they had a different one. When they wasn't able to play was Friday the 13th because they couldn't get the rights, they couldn't get the okay. I finally got to see the original Halloween theater. I finally got to see the original Chainsaw in the theater. I finally got to see the original Nightmare in the theater. At the time, my wife and my youngest son. Yeah, there's quite a few that I wish I could have seen, at the time. Oh, things like Shining and shit like that. Never got to. I wish I'd have seen The Exorcist when it came back, when it was a version you've never seen. I wish in 2000. I wish I'd seen that. Get a chance to. And the last few years, I haven't seen many movies in theater. I just don't get around people much. In case you guys don't know, I have a bad social disease, and I just can't get where a lot of people are, which is what's kept me from going to conventions and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I would love to go to conventions. All my autographs and shit that I get, none of them. I got a bunch of them, but none of them are where I've met the person. Either I seen five. Land of the Dead. Yeah. Night Watch and I did Land of the Dead a couple months back. Yeah. We we did watches of Night of the Dead, All the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead. We have plans on doing Diary as well. We figured we might as well finish it out. And I happen to like Diary. I thought it was a ballsy, inventive idea. I thought, I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't think it was bad at all. I don't like survival so much, but I would love to, man. I would love to. I have such an anxiety. That's part of the reason why I started doing this channel to begin with. It was the only way that I was able to reach out to other horror fans and be able to become part of life outside of home. I like good days and bad days. Every kill in this is completely different too. It's in a different setting. He does it differently. That's why he's hard to track. Sometimes he cuts the throat. Sometimes he shoot. You know what I mean? One dude, he garroted the one dude. Yeah, sorry to come at you guys so late tonight. But got a 16-year-old son that needs that time in the evenings. So you guys just have to catch me later or on the rewatch. Now I'm doing an earlier one tomorrow night because I don't have any plans, with my boy. But tomorrow night I'm going to be doing a delve into and talk about live stream delving in and talking about some physical media like I did 2 or 3 weeks back. Be volume 2. It'll be featuring Screen Factory. I got 200 and some of those. And then what was going to be volume 2 is not going to be volume 3 because it was going to be my whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre collection, physical media collection. Now, since Turbine Shop just came out with that new media book that I ordered, and I ordered that Second Sight limited edition Chainsaw Massacre from Second Sight. I'm waiting until they come in so I can do the full thing since the two of the coolest ones. That'll end up being about 14 or 15 copies of that movie. All righty, that's cool. That's cool. thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Always much appreciated. Have a great night. Saw some laws, get some Z's and all that good shit. And I will maybe see you tomorrow night for my screen factory collection at 9:30. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Man, I talked to this one guy, Corey, man. This one guy, I swear to God, the guy said he had 100 and some copies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't know there was that many made, man. Because me, I have VHS of part one and two, both in great mint condition. Then I got several DVDs, even the meat packing one that looks like the meat and all that shit. And few different ones of the DVDs, and then several of the Blu-rays. And then now, once I get that media book and that limited edition second sight in, that'll be five 4K editions. So I mean, I didn't have 100 and some. I would love to see this guy's collection. I can't remember who it was. But it's a guy on Instagram. It's when a couple weeks ago when I put that thumbnail out there talking about how I was showing my collection, and he was talking about the meat packing, where it looks like the hamburger meat. And he was talking, and I was like, man, I got like 15 of them, and that meat packing one's still one of the coolest ones. He said, well, I got like 110, and it's still one of my favorites. I was like, holy shit, man. I thought I was doing great with the collection I got of. Yeah, I'm looking forward to showing up. That's the way I want to do it, rather than going through, you know, um, you know, 3,000 of and just going through them like everybody does. I figure I'd go on a section, you know, like I don't know, kind of what's the best way to put it? Oh, shit, I can't think of the word, but you know, just pinpointing certain sections. Shit. Now, do you consider Maniac a slasher? Because I don't. To me, slashers are very definitive. Like Halloween, I don't consider Halloween a slasher. I don't consider, like, my youngest son completely disagrees. I don't consider the Funhouse a slasher. Um, Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't consider a slasher. Chainsaw, no, they're not slashers. To me, a slasher is um, Summer Party Massacre and Sleepaway Camp, shit like that. She's just, you know what I mean? A show like this, especially if you're a woman, it makes you afraid as fuck. You can go, I mean, New York subway is scary enough as it is, right? But if you're a woman and you see Frank, now we know why Charlie was carrying around a gun down the subways and shit. He wasn't fucking around. He just shoot you. Yeah, I got to get a hold of that 4K. You say it's from Kino Lobo, right? That's what I was thinking. I got the Dentist and the Dentist 2 from Vestron. Got for like $11 off Amazon, man. So I haven't seen those in a while. I still haven't opened it yet. Got it a couple days ago, actually. The Dentist is crazy, man. Corbin Burnson's a motherfucker. But yeah, I got that in. I got the new 88 films, Cannibal Holocaust. Um, then I got Don't Go in the House. The not the other cover, the more limited one. All from Orbit. Everybody talks about going to Diabolic DVD. Well, I got a problem with Diabolic DVD, man. They never got anything in. That doesn't do any good. I go to Orbit, they always got much more shit in. They have a bigger section for like German media books and all that shit. So I always recommend Orbit over Diabolic, because Diabolic they don't keep stock. They don't keep anything in stock. They're great when they have some in stock, but they never fucking do. You see everybody's got his whole table set up and everything going on here, and sitting up there some strawberry milk shit. You know what I mean? That you squirt in your milk. Just sitting amongst all the other bullshit, just some strawberry milk mixed there. He did such a good job. Man, crazy. You hear him in Godfather and Godfather 2. He was I can't remember his fucking name. I should remember it in that. But remember, he's the one that they got up there testifying against the family. You're talking about, buffers. Yeah, I don't know. I never talked directly with the Godfather. What did you play? He said, so what? He was a buffer. He's like, yeah, I was a buffer. But he basically was a soldier for the Corleone family. He's one of the people that took Tessio out and killed him when he. All right, man. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. Come back and see me. Stop by and see some of the Screen Factory collection tomorrow night if you get a chance, man. Take care. Much love always, man. I love the relationship that they start building here. Because you know what I mean? It's a match you wouldn't expect. Frank Zito and Anna, played by Carolyn Monroe. You wouldn't expect it, you know what I mean? It's complete opposites attract, but she likes him. You know what I mean? He's a nice guy. He's polite. He's like I say, he's a gentleman, and and she's an open-minded person. A lot of times in a situation like this, when you got a woman that's that much prettier than this guy, you know what I mean? She would kind of look down on him, just tell him how it is. But she doesn't do that, and that's why I like her character. I really love her character. She doesn't judge him like that. She thinks he's a good, of course she's not. He's fucking probably the craziest motherfucker in New York, and that's saying something. She doesn't see that. She just, she gives him a chance. She just thinks he's a sweet guy. Friends, anyway. I mean, I don't see her sleeping with him or nothing, but for friends, yeah, she, she accepts him and likes him. That's a great character to play for Phil Monroe. Great, open-minded, many-layered character like that. And she's his only chance at any kind of halfway decent sanity, and he's just taken by her and her beauty. Just her in general, I think. At first it was her beauty, but now he's getting to know her and find out she's a beautiful person on the inside too. So he's really taken back by her. And I think he's trying, I think he's trying to be, not such a fucking maniac. But he's completely putting on every bit of his persona because, if he went there and showed who he really was, conversation wouldn't have lasted 10 seconds. It just makes you wonder because after all this is said and done, she would never believe it was a nice guy or anything ever again. If you watch the documentary on Joe Spinell, it talks about this film and all this film somebody did. It's pretty good. It's on those, the last several copies of Maniac anyway. It shows him he's hanging out and talking to Spielberg, and they're doing the award, and I can't remember which movie it was. Spielberg was up for an Oscar for, but he didn't win it. And it's like, he's going, this man is Steven Spielberg. I mean, this man made Jaws. You know what I mean? Joe Spinell is all New York. That is no act. Another really good one he did. Another really good one that he did. It's different. It's not talked about a lot, but this was put up by Vinegar Syndrome a few years back. And this is the Undertaker. And it's got this really nice slit. Well, those of you who collect physical media know what I mean. You know, Vinegar Syndrome does their thing. Really tight fit. It's a really nice slip cover. Really cool. They're going out to dinner and everything else. You know, she's like, what about tomorrow night? I love how they do the subtitles on this. The subtitles, you got Carol Monroe on this side, and you got Joe Spinell on this side. And when one of them talks, they put their specific um, subtitle underneath the person. So it's not like sheer across the bottom. It's like when she talks is underneath her, when he talks is underneath him. I think it's a really cool way of doing it. You don't really see that much, not that I noticed. So if you can't hear it at all, you know for sure who's talking, you know, even if you don't see the lips move. Just a little thing. But I didn't realize, you know, I didn't stop to think that they made 3 movies together. Like I was saying, you know, they did Star Crash, which I've never seen Star Crash, but I have seen the last horror show. The music that they got while they're shooting a picture doesn't age well, does it? Going to a showdown. Going to a showdown. Going to a showdown. He's getting all excited, just doing it. He's, you know, using everything he's got to try to get by here. It shows that he can control himself somewhat. Went to a showdown. Got 5 of y'all out there. That's just what I can see at this point. Talk to me, say hello or something, guys. Let's have a conversation. It's bullshit. What do you guys think about the original Maniac? You guys prefer the original Maniac? You guys prefer the remake? You don't like either one? Talk to me. Let's get a conversation in. Seen Maniac? I take it. You haven't seen it? Who out there thinks that Maniac is a slasher? Who out there thinks it's not a slasher? I don't look at it as a slasher. To me, it's not. Like I said, to me, the slasher is very definitive. And certain things, um, they call Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street slasher. We written out Chainsaw Massacre. Those aren't slashers. Not in my opinion. To me, slashers, some Florida Massacre, shit like. Which reminds me, I'd like to do some Florida Massacre. I like the Sleepaway Camp too. At least the first couple. The second one's entertaining as hell. You gotta love Pamela Springsteen. I mean, she's not, but She does a great job in it. She's very entertaining. Yeah, last night, as a matter of fact, up till midnight was the 42nd anniversary of the release of this movie, the original release of this movie in New York. It released January 30th, 1981 in New York. So it says, hey, favorites. No, no, great classic. Thanks and welcome, man. If you haven't yet, give me that thumbs up if you would, my good sir. Nice to meet you. Hell yeah, Maniac is badass. What do you think about a lot of people prefer the remake. I don't. Nothing wrong with the remake. I like it. There's a lot of things about it that I do like. There's only one original 1980 Maniac. You know, it is badass. It's a it's a real horror film. You know what I mean? There ain't no bullshit in the Maniac. Ain't nothing glossy and shiny and sweet about Maniac. Same thing with like Henry, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, and thank you for stopping by, man. Um, you see Joe Spinell in Undertaker and Last Horror Show and stuff like that. Fish him in Rocky movies as Gaza. Great, it's a great role. Betamax, huh? Wow, I haven't seen a Beta in years, man. This is one I don't have on VHS that I wish I had this on VHS. I got a pretty good VHS collection, but I don't have Maniac. I'd love to get my hands on it. Got a lot of good ones, but not Maniac. But I do have 4K and a really nice media book and a couple of Blu-rays and DVD. Did you put your pre-order in for the second sight limited edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? If you order and you can order from Second Sight, then you can order directly from them. Now, if you order directly from them, you get 3 extra cards that you won't get if you order it from somewhere else. So and it's nice, man. It looks fantastic. Check it out. Go to the Second Sight website and check it out if you haven't. I pre-ordered that today. And from Turbine Shop, I ordered limited to 200 or 250 Texas Chainsaw Massacre media book. That's why I didn't go through and do my Texas Chainsaw Massacre collection like I was going to, because those two new ones came out, or I ordered them, so I'm waiting until they get here. Then I will do it. I got like that. So I swear to God, at least 12, 13 of them. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mm. I was doing. See, there's many different. They say it's based on the Son of Sam killing, but you see shit from Henry Lucas in here. Well, he just did it. This chick's door. Timestamp, by the way, and let's check it out. Like I said, it's on Tubi and Pluto. It's an hour and 1 minute. What he just did right there was more like Boston Strangler type shit. Go to the door, make sure she's home, see if anybody's there with her, and then come back. But there's many different serial killers that Lustig's got in here. And of course, Spinell co-wrote the screenplay. This is kind of his baby. This was kind of Spinell's baby. It ended up being his definitive role. You gotta love a bathtub scene. You gotta love one in a bathtub scene. I mean, there was a pretty kick-ass one in the toolbox. Um, yeah, yeah, toolbox murders. And my favorite bathtub scene of all time with a woman, of course, is Savage Streets with Linda Blair. I love that. Gotta love that. You know, bubbles or no bubbles, don't matter to me. Of course, Linda Blair when I'm glad there's not bubbles in it. Yeah, it's back away real slow. It's foreshadowing. He's there. He's in there. Catching her in the bathtub. That's fucked up. It's weird because Frank, he's not a sexual serial killer. You know, he doesn't, never had anything to do with any kind of sex or anything. He just he just wants to kill him. You know, I don't think I come right down to it. I don't think he's capable sexually. You know, I think his killing that's his release sexually. It's one of those kind of things. As far as relationship with a woman, a regular sexual relationship with a woman, I just don't, I don't see it going on. I just don't think he works like that. Don't think that's part of his repertoire. And he's in there the whole time. He even let her finish her shot, finish her bubble bath and everything. She needs some coffee or whatever. She's running around. There he is. Like I said, you get a different type of killing every time you kill somebody. It's in a different way. But it's like right there when you grab her, it wasn't even anything spectacular. You just see him snatch her and it goes into slow motion. He takes her down. That's it. And here he is back talking to himself like shit. Why you do these things? I don't understand why you do these things. Don't lie to me. And yeah, he's full out crazed here. You try to pretend you don't know. Your hair is different. Yeah. And you look different. But you can't fool me. But she's still alive. I know what you. Oh yeah, he's in her apartment. Oh man. She's terrified. She's like, who in the hell are you talking to? I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to talk to you. Okay? She's okay. I'm taking I promise. Not to scream, you promise. There. That's better. You can trust me. No, you can't. There's no reason for you to try and run away. She's tied to bed. Try to run. But, but now we're back together again. Man, this chick doesn't know this motherfucker. She just back together and she's like, oh my God. You were wrong to try to hurt me. You left me alone lots of times. See, he's talking to his mom. That's what it is. I was scared, real scared. I hid in the closet. Did you know that? And a lot of this he's saying here, he had lives a good amount of this because remember he's he co-wrote the screenplay, so he just kind of got into the mode, and now he's just talking. I knew you'd come back. You did come back. I found you. But a lot of this you can't write shit like this. You know, this is just something within him that he's just pulling out. He's creative like that. Why'd you need those other men? They didn't love you. I did. I loved you. I needed you. There's so many men. Makes you wonder if maybe he had a lover too. I mean, I'm not sure, but we know he has the mommy issues, right? It makes you wonder if there was somebody that a woman that he cared about and liked and fucked him over too, or something. Or after he promised not to hurt her, and if you're quiet, I won't hurt you, he flips out the switchblade. I never wanted to hurt you. Not changed my mind, I won't hurt you till I never wanted to hurt you. There were so many men. I imagine this would probably, you know what I mean? This girl, I would imagine, he gets so much into this that, I can, a lot of this fear and a lot of this discomfort she's showing, I would imagine a lot of that is somewhat genuine. She's, because you get a good actor really deep into what they're doing, they can kind of, fuck with you. They can kind of confuse you. I mean, look at the making of Last House on the Left. Anybody out there knows anything about that knows what I'm talking about. There was so much into it, they scared the shit out of Sandra Cassell. She even left the set once because she didn't know. Wes Craven and them weren't known. So, she was like, she didn't know, and that was it back in the time when a lot of snuff movies were out. She didn't know she was on the set of a snuff movie or what, because they're out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. So she wasn't sure what the hell was going on. She was terrified. She's the only one that I know of that cast from Last House on the Left, the original Last House, that has never really told her comment about it. Everything you hear about it and what she did and how she was from everybody else. I've never known her to talk about it. If anyone out there does, let me know in the comments. Hold on, guys. I will be right back. Sorry, guys. I just noticed my phone is running low on juice. I don't want to lose that. So let me take care of this real quick. Everybody's out there. I'll be right back. Take care of this. Get myself plugged up here. All right, should be good. Cool. I'm all plugged up. Should be here. Let me check it real quick, guys. All right, we're charging. We got it going on. Cool. Apologize for that. But I didn't want to lose juice and, you know what I mean? And the phone died right in the middle of shit. Yeah. It's getting to the point where an hour and 11 minutes timestamp here. So got about another 15 minutes or so of film. Anybody wants to throw in their 2 cents or talk or say hello or say fuck off or, whatever. Now would be the time. Appreciate you introducing yourself, Matthew, man. That was really cool of you. If you're still there, do you got a big collection? I mean, how many do you think you got all together? Didn't see Ninja tonight. That's unusual. It's the first time I've seen Ninja in a while. Jason's usually right there. I'd do a show where do a watch with him again. And like I was saying, anybody that has watched it and enjoys it, the show that Night Watch Zone and I do, and Horror for All. We've done 4 episodes. They're all really good. Getting ready to record episode 5 tomorrow, and it'll be edited and out in the next couple of days. So definitely look for Horror for All episode 5. And tomorrow night at 9:30, like I said, I'm going to be doing a Scream Factory collection. I'm going to be showing off some of my favorites from that and discussing them. And a week from today, next Tuesday, I think the 7th, I'll be doing the original My Bloody Valentine watch along / commentary / discussion. And then after that, I plan on continuing on with, the dirtier, grimier horror movies on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to start doing some Italian horror. Argento, Fulci, Martino, Bava, on and on. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. So we'll delve into all those. You guys are more than welcome to delve with me. But first, I think next Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to do my Blade Valentine, but I think next Monday, a week from, basically a week from tonight or now, I'm doing a Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. So I got a chance to really sit and fully view that 4K yet. So yeah, should really hit the fan here now on this one. Hey Fred, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming by, man. Selecting the psycho. Supposed to, yeah, protecting his life. Yeah, a lot of the mommy things going on with these, Fred. You really do. And his is an extreme case because I'm not sure what all she did to Frank, man, but I think it leaned over into the sexual side and everything because he's all fucked up. And he does such a great job. I mean, it's just he really made it his own. Like I said, he ad libs a lot of it. I'm sure you know that. Not only did he co-write the script and the screenplay, but he also ad libbed a lot of extra shit that he was just feeling at the time. It's basically the Joe Spinell / William Lustig movie. You know what I mean? They was creation they put together. In a way, I'm kind of glad that we didn't get the sequel. I'm kind of glad that Maniac is a standalone. I like good standalone. Like My Blade Valentine, The Burning. There's a lot of really good standalones out there, man. You know, uh, you got to stand alone. It keeps you from fucking it up. It keeps you from getting, because the more you do, the less, the more ideas you use. Just like a band that's been together for 30 years. Or shit, eventually it's going to start sounding the same, right? An author, you know what I mean? That's the thing with Stephen King, I mean, he's been doing it so long. In a lot of ways, he kind of repeats himself a lot nowadays. Because Jesus Christ, how many books has he got? Fucking 100? He's been doing it for 50 years. There's only so many creative ideas a person has. And it's never going to be like it was when you first started. You're never going to have those creative juices quite like that ever again. You make a lot of money, you get a lot of success. Starving artist is the best artist. That's when they put up the best shit. Yeah, that's too bad too because she really trusted him. She liked him. You know what I mean? She was getting to feel like they were good friends. I mean, she went with him to his mother's grave. I mean, that's a friend. And she was totally supportive on it. And then he went and turned and went batshit on her. So now she's thinking, what the fuck? Too trusting, man. That was something he had that good mask of normalcy going. He had that really going for him in his relationship with Anna, Carolyn Monroe, until he got out to his mom's grave, and then it overtook him. Oh, and she's a toughie. He wasn't expecting her to be so vicious. Wow, fuck you. And I'm sorry, Frank, but your fat ass ain't gonna catch her. She's in too good a shape, man. He's injured now, on top of being out of breath because he's out of shape. It's not gonna happen. He's in way too good a shape for you to get. Frank's he's a little heavier around the waist. He's older. Now this here at the end when he goes to back home, like I was telling you earlier, the I was talking about the body. When he hops up on the hood and shoots through the windshield. Um, that was Boris. That's what Tom Savini named him. That was the dummy that got its head blown off in Dawn of the Dead. Same body. He just added a head that looked like his. That was the Tom Savini head on the Boris body. Now this here at the end here, this body laying here in the bed, the headless woman's body. That's the Pamela body from Friday the 13th. Time spent hour and 18 minutes. So yeah, there's so much of that goes on, Fred, man. Person that's supposed to protect you. I watch on here on YouTube and just on different channels, true crime. You see so many cases of, parents, you know, either abusing the kid to death or abusing them to the point to where they're crazy in the head, to where they hurt people. It's just all that shit starts at childhood. All of it. You know, what happens to you in childhood and adolescence is what shapes who and what you're going to be the rest of your life. There's those cases where it it doesn't so much you're able to overcome that. But usually, if the abuse is bad enough, you're gonna fuck somebody up, man, for life. Like, and Frank's definitely an extreme case of that. I say he's a combination of like what I've seen is what I've got out of it. He's a mixture of like Son of Sam, um, Henry Lee Lucas, what Henry Lee Lucas claimed anyway. Um, I like I said earlier with the apartment thing, I even seen a little bit of Boston Strangler in it. That was some of his MO. Yeah, and all around, and this is when he is just went totally crazy. He is just he's so delusional. He thinks that they're ripping apart and every fucking thing out. This ending doesn't make sense to a lot of people. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't get that ending." It makes perfect sense to me. He is just finally just went completely out of his mind. You know, the only thing that works for him is what he has going on here in his little space with with all these different little fuck ups and personalities going on. To him, these mannequins with these scalps on them are real. And now, he's got such a guilt. He feels such a guilt about it. But you know that from the crying he does and everything when he kills him. He feels such a guilt. Now he's had the delusion that they're coming to take revenge on him. That's just that's he's got them all sitting around the table and shit. Yeah, now he sees them all coming back, coming to life. So I get a good view of this headless body we're talking about. I never paid much attention to that before until I was reading about that earlier. But there's a headless woman's body in this that is the dummy left over from what they had they chopped off in Friday the 13th, family body. So I'm sure if it's this part. I don't think it is. Yes, that one right there that's coming up the side of the bed. That's the family body. Right here, it's even got the sweater on. It's still got the sweater on at an hour and 22 minutes and about an hour and 22 and a half minutes. You see the family body, and it's got the light gray sweater on and everything. But that's you know, Tom brought the whole kit and caboodle for this. This is one of his proudest works. He still claims that the Prowler is his now the Prowler is a slash. He still claims that the Prowler is his best. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, it is really good, but I think there's a few cases that's the best. This is definitely up there. Burning, oh man, the Burning's way up there. There's a Friday 13th. You know, he just did great shit. A lot. You know, she's turned him in. Surprised the cops haven't already been there. That tells you something about big city cops, right? Or at least how they're portraying them. Now, I don't know if he's actually dead or he's actually out of his mind or if he's killed himself or what. I think this is pretty much up for people to figure out and determine on their own. You know, so each person decide what the hell has happened here. But they're going to get him because she turned him in, attacking her. They suspect they have, or at least they know they got somebody. I don't think they really know that they have the serial killer that's been tormenting New York City, but we're about to find out. There's all those mannequins with the scalps on them. See, and he's laying there. He's just stabbing the stomach. He's not torn apart, or he's his head. He stabbed himself in the stomach. He's probably not dead. It takes a long time to die from that. They don't know what the hell they're looking at. They're like, what? But they got an idea. They're like, this is the killer we're looking for. Because they found those women's bodies scalp. He's funny how they turn around and walk out of the apartment and close the door. They'd be standing up, motherfucker, calling for backup and shit, wouldn't they? Hey, we got blah, blah, blah here, you know. Fred, if you can remember what the name of part two was going to be, let me know real quick. If you would, please, because I cannot remember. It's Mr. Something. It's what it was going to be called. I'm on the phone here. I'll look it up and check it out. There it was, Maniac. It's a trip, man. It's a ride, and once you see it, it's one of those movies. Once you see it, you never forget that you've seen it. Yeah, but it's good stuff. And I love what Blue Underground and Lustig did before. It was beautiful, beautiful. Well, right here, while I'm here, let me go through some of the copies I have. Maniac, the original Blue Underground DVD. Maniac. That's on the back. It's fine. Um, at the 30th anniversary of it, Maniac. It's fine. And it's back and we'll feature. One of my favorites here. Here we take this out of its case. Here I got some stuff. This is my favorite copy of Maniac. It's just Blu-ray. It's, it's Blue Underground, but it's through Nameless. It's got the remastered, it's got the bonus, and it's got the director's cut. But I love this copy of it. It's a beautiful steelbook. It's one of my favorite steelbooks. Look at that. Love that shit. And then you got that on the back. And then it's like you got three discs. And even behind it, you know, like behind there and just over on the other side behind there. But I think it's gorgeous. I think it's a gorgeous. And then of course you got the embossed, you know, raised up slipcover Blue Underground's 4K. I love that. I love how that's raised up and embossed shit. Really cool. And of course, you know. But yeah. the Blu-ray 4K combo. A couple other copies. I want that one copy that looks like the VHS. I think that's really cool looking. It's really limited and it's gotten more expensive. So if I'm gonna grab it, I need to grab it. But yeah, that's my copies of Maniac. I'm looking to get a few more of them. I'm really wanting to get VHS. And of course, in case you didn't see before, beautiful Vinegar Syndrome version of The Undertaker was a great, great slipcover. Nobody does slips like Vinegar Syndrome. Nobody. But yeah, that was it. That was Maniac, guys. Appreciate everybody that came through and watched it with me. So much. You know, there's always much love to y'all. Tomorrow night, like I said, I'll be here say 9:30. Hey, what's up, Ninja? How you doing, man? Yeah, I saw about you earlier. I was like, hey, Ninja hadn't come through and said hello to me yet. He must be busy. But you just checked out Maniac, the life-altering experience, as you know. Um, next Friday or next Monday night, I'm going to be doing Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and then Tuesday, a week from today now it's Tuesday, being My Blade Valentine 1981. Like I said, tomorrow night at 9:30, I will be showing off a lot of and discussing a lot of my favorite Scream Factory editions, stuff like that. I'm holding off on doing my Chainsaw Massacre because I don't know if you heard this earlier, um, Ninja, but I'm waiting for my Turbine Shop media book and the second sight limited big nice box set of Chainsaw Massacre before I do that. Doing great, man. Doing great. Feeling a lot better. Got my shit together. Things going on. Like I said, I apologize earlier for going so late, but you know, I got a 16-year-old and we were hanging out playing games and bullshit, and that has to come first. So, but I made it. Here I am. Still got all that shit. Still got all that shit on the schedule. Still doing all that shit. I was talking earlier, man. You and I need to hook up soon and do one of these together and discuss some shit. So I'll be getting with you on the on the DM so we can discuss it. See if we can find a time where we can get you in here. We can compare our 10-hour time differences and actually do something. Or just some kind of live stream or something, maybe where we're showing off our physical media collection or just talking about it. Cool. But thanks to everyone again. I'll give you here in just a little bit, Jason, man. Thanks to everyone again. I always appreciate you. Hoping you appreciate me. Much love to everybody always. I will see you all tomorrow night. And don't forget, also don't catch any horror for all episode 5 we're going tomorrow coming out later on this week. I am Goreflode, and you motherfuckers are not. Much love. Have a great night.